Test 4, 5, 6.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the WA AIPP Epson Professional Photography Awards for 2019. Here we are in the lovely campus of North Metro TAFE at our Leederville campus, and it's a lovely sunny day outside, but we're not going to see much of that because we have the joy of viewing an amazing array of images for the remainder of today. A big welcome to our live streaming audience. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your interest in the judging of the awards, and we hope you find it informative and maybe even entertaining. So, we're in room 1, and the category that we're judging here this morning is the C.R. Kennedy family category. And so we're about to introduce the judges. We're about to go through the first bits of paperwork and setting things up, and it won't be, we're just a few minutes away from introducing our first print for the category. So if you have the opportunity to come down to North Metro TAFE, please feel free. The entrance is just off Richmond Street in Leederville. There's a nice sign out on the roadway saying AIPP with a big arrow. You're welcome to come along. It's free to attend. There's a number of photographers that are in attendance already, even at this early hour. And also we've got all the judges that are, if they're not judging, happy to work the crowd and come and chat. So please feel free to come down. It's and you have the opportunity to actually see a range of the winning prints on display. So, we have, on our judging panel, we have Diane DeRay, Lisa Imendich, Dean Mansbridge. Dean's one of our interstate guest judges who hails from Tasmania. We also have Gary Saar and the lovely Rachel Callender. So thank you, guys. I just want to get a bit of indication that your seats are warm, your eyes have been sharpened, the tongues are well lubricated. And so we're going to start in a few moments. We're just going to check out back that they're ready to go. So let's just have a pause for a quick moment and make sure we're strapped into our seats and ready to fire. Okay, are we ready? For 2019 Epson Professional Photography Awards, can we have our first print, please? Okay. Rebecca, can I get you to... Thank you. This is the family open category. And our judges are giving this due scrutiny. Printers coming in, and this print scores a silver award, 81. Excellent start. Let's go with, okay, Dean, can you fire us off, mate?
Pleasure. Thanks for showing us something really different. There's a unique thing going on here that's really nice. I think it could have been improved though, perhaps with the way that the family is positioned. I struggled to see that the dog was a dog at first. I can imagine that given a bit of timing or a different shape, if the family was to make an arrow leading up and the dog was running away or something, it might have just made it a little bit sweeter. But continue with this sort of work. It's a really beautiful print.
Okay, if we can have next print, please. Rebecca, can I keep you on? Rebecca? Thank you. This print scores 78. And I'm going to invite a comment from Gary. Thank you.
Initially, I put this in the 78 category as well, but I think it's something to do with this. Perhaps this, to me, it shows that the mother has perhaps cancer. She seems to be bald. Her hair is covered with this magnificent celebratory headpiece. And the connection between her daughter and her is beautiful. I raised that to silver for the emotional effect that had on me.
I think perhaps just make the story a little bit more obvious in this photo, because it's really a little bit confusing to me, and I feel like the other judges are in the same category. So yeah, if you want to take this forward, just simplify the story a little bit or tell the story a little bit more, because it just was a little bit lost on me.
Great. Thank you, Diane. Folks, I'm just going to quickly ask for a blank screen because I've been remiss in that I actually want to run through the preamble for the category. So my apologies. I'm missing a checklist. So we are judging the C.R. Kennedy family category, and this category is intended for images that reflect what domestic photographers sell or aim to sell to their clients. The family category will be judged in two sections. Family open, which is what we are currently judging, and then we will move to family single capture, and I will notify you when that part of the category arrives. The category is judged in two sections to assist for judges in their assessment. However, there is only one award. Entries into this category must be commissioned by the family depicted in the entry. Your entry does not have to be the photograph you sold to your client, but it must be from the same photography session. Images of members of your immediate family are prohibited. Polytyptics, diptychs, triptychs, etc. are permitted in both sections. In family open, entrants may utilise all post-production techniques, including multiple images or elements in producing their entry. In family single capture, This section is intended to reward technical and creative excellence in photographing and representing an authentic representation of a scene without the benefit of creative compositing techniques. I'm not sure if I got my tongue around that one correctly. Any questions on that? I think we're good to continue. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to accept and next print, please. Next print, please. Thank you. This print scores 73. And I'm looking for inviting comments here. Thank you, Dean.
I kind of wanted to like this a little bit more. I thought there was a quirky kind of expression going on here, which I kind of liked. It really fell flat technically. It's not quite sharp anywhere, I don't think, or it's been just blown up a little bit too much for print or something. It's not quite, not quite sharp up close. And there's a bit of difference in the way that his skin tones fall off in his back arm and things like that. But just was within professional practice, but no more than that.
Please. Right, we're just waiting for scores to arrive in. Thank you, Gary. This print scores 77, which is in solid professional practice. Congratulations to the photographer, and I'm going to invite a comment from Rachel.
If we're thinking about improving this, I think maybe a bit more dynamic storytelling would have pushed it higher for me. Yeah.
Great. Let's go next print, please. Right, our scores are coming in. And here we are quivering in anticipation. This print scores 80, a silver award. Rebecca, you like this?
I love the expression on the little girl. It's very hard to do an underwater shot where you have so much. Hello? Oh, yes. I really love the expression on the little girl. It's very hard to get such eye contact if you're doing an underwater portrait. I also think the colour tones are really beautiful. So having the red head of of the little girl and the blues of her outfit, and then the colour tones are just lovely.
I'll just do a judge change there. So, Rebecca, thank you for your comment. Well done. Congratulations. You can have a rest. Lisa, could you come and join us back, please? All settled in. And if we could have the next print, please.
As thousands embark at Perth's State War Memorial on Anzac Day 2019 for the yearly commemorative service, attendees observe and pay tribute to the innumerable names displayed on the marble wall shortly after the dawn service.
Right. We have a silver award at 83. Looking for voluntary comments. Anyone? Thank you, Diane.
Look, I think this is a really interesting concept, which I really enjoyed. I'm on 78, and I just wanted to explain why, because if the person's going to take this photo forward, the main image in the middle, to me, is not award standard, so I find it hard to get into an award range when I'm not finding that main image an award standard. So obviously everyone else disagreed with me, but I think if you were going to take this photo forward, you might need to find a way to make that main image more award worthy. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Diane. Just doing a quick little update. And if we could have next to print, please. Right, scores are coming in. Just waiting for the final one. Right, print scores 78. Well and truly solid professional practice. And I'm receiving a challenge from Mr. Gary Starr. Thank you, Gary. Can you please proceed with your comments?
It's not your normal sort of banal family shot. There's a little story here with the difference between the children obviously fighting over the same book and then sitting down and reading it together, and I like the little story that's with it. And I like the technical level of it as well. It's not absolutely brilliantly perfect, but it doesn't seem to matter with this image. I think it's above professional practice because it is different and it's thoughtful.
You're not alone. So you've got Rachel sitting there in the silver award, but I'm going to go with Dean for now. So Dean, you're not quite in that category, and I was just wondering if you could share your thoughts. Thanks.
Sure. I also enjoyed the story and the contrast between the way that they interact with books together. You can see that, and totally get that. I was just really drawn by this big blurry bit on the right-hand side. I kept looking over there, but I want to be drawn into the back and that other interaction. Look, at first I thought, they're in a. I didn't like the lighting and the harshness of that on these beautiful, soft little faces. But that, I suppose technically it has been dealt with quite well. If you could have them anywhere, is that the best place to have them? I don't know. But definitely revisiting some cropping because I'm getting dragged over to that right-hand side constantly. So I'm willing to come up, still falling short of the award range for me though.
Do either of you? So I'm going to go to Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. You did enjoy the image?
I did, and Dean, I hear you with the lighting, and I saw elements of whimsy in that, and almost like an Imaginarium kind of world. They're both connecting with the book, and it's like they've got their own world going on. And even though they've been fighting previously, I love that the foreground of them connecting is the larger image. So it kind of tells me that mostly they get along and they're in this world together. And the lighting, I think, is done intentionally to create that invitation to say, look, this is a child's world. It's not the same as adults. There's sparkles and there's rainbows, and we can't always understand it. And that's what I read into it. So I really enjoyed that.
Gary, if you could have a right of reply there, please, mate.
Rachel pretty well summed that up.
It's nice for the judges to do your work for you. Okay, so Gary, if you can hold your score. Can everyone else please rescore? I'm sorry. Try again, folks. Yeah. Print was sitting on 78, and the print is a 79 by majority. Very close, but no cigar. It could, absolutely. Thank you, judges, and congratulations to the photographer who's reached a very high, can't get much higher in the professional practice range, so well done. And next print, please. Prince scores 84 by majority, a silver award, and we have a challenge. So let's see where this goes, shall we? Thank you, Diane. You are challenging. You are on 93. So you've got, people in the realm, you have 93. So you have 84, 84, 83, and 84.
Come on, people. Look at this photo. Holy moly. Like these two are glowing. There's so many great things going on here that I just absolutely love. I'm shocked that no one else is in gold. Absolutely shocked. I mean, the photo is gold. It's telling the story. But yeah, okay, let's start with lighting. Absolutely perfect. Just couldn't have improved at all. I actually really like how we've just faded off slightly on the right, which I actually really love, because initially I was like, oh, we can see a little bit more on the left, like more of the detail separating it from the background. But now I actually really like that little fall off. I just think that lack of perfection just adds something to the photo. The eye contact is really strong. This is the family category, and the bond between these two is just incredible. I mean, the looks on their faces are beautiful. I love the hands, they're touching. The body paint's really stunning. I mean, I'm assuming there's some cultural significance there, which I think tells more of the story. So yeah, I'd like to know why people are not in gold.
About to find out. So I'm going to pick on somebody with 84. Anyone? No, there's plenty on 84, so we can. Yeah, I'm just having a bit of fun with you lot.
I wanted to love it. Am I on? I can't hear myself. I wanted to give it a higher score than what I did because of the impact when it first came around. Those words like glowing and all of that was awesome. I suppose it was that fall off on the right hand side and a little bit at the bottom is what just really let me down. I suppose the symmetry, like the sisters, they could even be twins, they look so similar. Like all of those reasons, it's really stunning. But I think if you're going to emphasise a bit of symmetry, the lighting is probably what let it down. For a controlled environment in the studio, obviously it's being lit from the left, so we've got a little bit brighter in the highlights on the girl on the left, and therefore the fall off on the right. Maybe just a simple reflector or something, just to give us that separation along the curve of the back of the girl on the right, because the shape on the left's like beautiful. So to have that mirrored visually on the right would have been fantastic to see, but we just can't see it. So that's why I kept it below silver with distinction. I can't wait for some more discussion to see if it can come up.
I've just got Rachel first, then Lisa.
Firstly, I am sorry for only scoring this 84. I'm with you, Diane. Like, this is a very elegant, stunning, sophisticated piece of work, and I'm so glad that you were brave and went straight to gold, Diane, because we get to have this discussion. There is such a subtle but powerful separation between the two women and the background, which I love. It's like they're kind of emerging, like they're creatures coming out of the woods, and they're huntresses, and there's this anamorphic, beautiful kind of creatureness about them, but they're so powerful and so elegant, and there's this design element and fashion, and there's a whole lot of elements being woven together flawlessly in this exceptional piece of communication. I'm going straight to gold with you, Diane.
Cool, thank you. Lisa.
Okay, so I'm the listening person here because I'm with both of you, and I'm also with Dean. I'm both intrigued and conflicted by the symmetry and the lack of symmetry in the lighting. Part of me feels that the lack of symmetry is actually a stroke of brilliance in the posing and the lighting by the photographer, because if these are sisters, one of the sisters is clearly a little slimmer than the other sister. And so perhaps that's why there's a fall off on the right, to handle the sister on the right a little bit more delicately and not say, try to make them look a little bit more simple and make her feel a little bit more comfortable. Because I know sisters can be very, very, very conscious of the fact if they are and I certainly don't judge people by covers, but people can sometimes put themselves in their own corners of being the fat sister or the thin sister. And these two are both gorgeous sisters and shouldn't be dealt with those labels. But at the same time, I do feel the sister on the right doesn't feel as comfortable in her pose. There's something a bit hesitant there. So again, I'm not sure whether or not that's something we could have improved, or if that is her and that is part of the brilliance in the image. So I'm on 84. I'll come up a bit. I'm not sure yet if I'm in the gold category, because I'm still a bit conflicted about those points.
Gary, thank you.
I think we're possibly being a bit, well, we actually are being a bit too, well, I'm not, cerebral about this. But this is a pure one light softbox situation. Whether it's got feel or not, I don't think it's important to the message that this image is portraying. And I gave this 83, and I'm finding myself talking this up just because of the pure simplicity and integrity of the lighting. Whoever printed this and photographed this is quite capable of putting a reflector on that woman's backside if he feels or she feels so fit. It's well within their capabilities. Anyone who can get that kind of detail against black hair against a black background can do that. So I'm ignoring all of those sorts of things and just going for the purity of the lighting. I'm not even sure if this is sisters. It could be the same person just reflecting different male and female characteristics in them. I mean, you could take it that way as well. So I've rambled on for too long, but yeah, I could take it to silver distinction because I really like the technicalities of this.
Thank you, Gary. Diane, you have a right of reply.
16 points off for a little bit of shadow. Holy moly. All right. I think that the difference in lighting is showing a difference in the personalities. And I think if you go back up and look really carefully in their faces and in their poses as well, the lady on the left is clearly very confident. She's very powerful. She's got her hand to the front. I think she's running the show. The one on the right does have this slightly softer look. You know, she's got, I don't know, there's something a little bit vulnerable about her, which is quite different to the one on the left. So I feel like that little bit less lighting on the right, to me, makes total sense with their personality. So that's how I'm describing it. But yeah, look, I think this is beautiful. You know, if we look at our judges' assessment guide, to get a gold award, you have to have outstanding visual communication, which this clearly does. I mean, we've just talked about it for 10 minutes. Interpretation, emotional impact. I mean, the emotion is right there. And the technique as well, as Gary said very well. You know, the technique is just absolutely amazing. Yeah, look, I'm really in awe of this photo. So I definitely think it's a gold, and I would definitely encourage the other judges to come up.
Excellent. Thank you, judges. Diane, you will hold your score. Can everybody else rescore, please? And I enjoy the passion that you guys share amongst each other. Well done. That's why we're here. Score is coming in. Oh. Print scores 89. Oh. Congratulations. A silver with distinction award. Okay. Nice challenge. Well done. Next print, please. Is this one? Thank you, judges. Sprint scores 75. And looking for a comment. Thank you, Lisa.
This is a beautiful image, and I love the design and the styling in it to reflect her heritage. However, for me, I almost got up into the award. There's just a few things that it needed to have happen. The vignette is just a little bit too strong in those corners for me. And I just feel like if she was slightly more centered, that would have, She's probably dead centre, but because of the drapes, if we could just centre her just a little bit more and a little bit more finesse with that front leg, it just doesn't feel as comfortable sticking out there. But it's a really beautiful shot. Well done.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. I'm going to do a double judge change for the moment. So thank you, ladies. Well done. Loved your contribution. And could I invite Erica Serena and Rebecca Hanson to the judging panel, please? So, ladies, are you settled in? Yeah. You settled in, ready to go? Have your eyes? Thank you. Sharpened your eyes? Good. Great. Okay, let's go next print, please. So, for our audience, while the judges are deliberating, have a gander around the room. There's a lucky door prize, and there's a challenge involved here where you are to link the sponsor with their category. And then I think there's a box to pop your entries into, and there are prizes for the person that A gets this all correct and then is drawn out of the barrel. And the draw will actually happen on Wednesday after the judging. So you have today and tomorrow to go do your research and commit your entry into the barrel. Please remember to add your name and number. And I think there's going to be some very cool prizes available. So give it a go. Scores are coming in. So great, thank you. Waiting. This print scores 87, silver with distinction. Rebecca, welcome to the panel, and can I get a comment, please?
Yeah, I really like this image. I love how balanced it is, all the lines. It's just perfectly made and done. But what probably pushed it over the edge for me is that ball mid-air. I just think that just adds that little bit of that extra element that's just so well captured.
Great, thank you very much. And we'll go with the next print, please. And just a reminder that, of course, our sponsors that we'd like to mention from time to time while the judges do their pondering. We appreciate C.R. Kennedy's sponsorship of the family category. We also have our sponsors in the room that we'd like to encourage you to say hello to. Grill them, test them on the goods that they sell. There's some great gear on display here. So if you're out, if you're in the live streaming audience, it'd be fun for you to find the time to come down and visit, check out some of the judging, view some of the award-winning prints, see some tasty bits of gear on display here, and chat to our sponsors, make them feel wanted, warm and welcome. And we're waiting for our scores to come in on this print. This print scores 79. Strong professional practice. Dean, can I get a comment, please? You were quite fond of this print.
Yeah, I thought it just snuck over there. I think what's holding you back from being getting into the award range from everybody's behalf is just the technical kind of muddiness in the blacks. It's sort of a bit uncomfortable. There may be another frame from your shoot where mum's looking a bit more convincing as well. She's sort of got a fake smile. I kind of like the expression on the little dude because he's not trying to smile. Dad looks genuinely happy, but it does fall short of what everyone thinking it sort of would for things like expression. I don't mind the little separation. The kids are individual, so it's a bit unique, a bit different, but there's definitely some muddiness in the blacks, which is a technical thing kind of holding it back. Is that cool?
Cool. Beautifully articulated, Dean. Thank you. Great feedback. And next print, please. Thank you, judges. This print scores 82, silver award, and we have a challenge. Thank you, Rachel. Please grab the microphone and spruik your knowledge.
I think simplicity can often be overlooked, and this is a very stunning, elegant piece of work. It's extremely simple, but there's a lot of power in this through the expressions, the tonality, the colour palette is subtle and soft, but that skin is luminous, and I think it's been handled so beautifully. It's printed to exquisite levels, and I think you can just sort of, it's a very serene image, like it feels peaceful, but you also get a sense of the characters of the girls, like especially the one on the right. There's a cheekiness and a little twinkle in her eye. It's not overpowering, but it's just, it draws us in and says, just wait a little moment, get to know us a little bit. We are a beautiful, loving family, and we've got some sass, but we're also, it's not yelling at us. It's classy and elegant and poised, and I think extremely professional. And I think deserving of a silver distinction just for its powerful simplicity. And I think sometimes we overlook that. So, yeah, consider again.
Gary, can I get a comment?
What did this score, Des?
82, so it's a solid silver.
I gave it 78, and the reason I did that was technical reasons, the distracting lightness of the top against the girl's face. But listening to Rachel, there's some things that outrank technicalities, especially not very important ones like that, and that is the control that the photographer has placed on those expressions. We get too many smiley, grinny shots these days in portraits, and these expressions are sublime. So look, I'll go up to silver for that.
Cool. Dean, you're almost but not quite totally unlike in the silver distinction range.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it didn't get a 79. That would have sucked. So it's definitely a silver. I love all the expressions. I think they're so spot on. You can read, the more you see it, the more you can read into the personalities. I think Big Sister in the middle is definitely the boss. She's got this resilience and authority about her expression. Baby Sister on the left, however, looks almost a bit scared and timid and is leaning in with her body language and grasping onto a Big Sister in a way that I think says a lot about her and their relationship. And then Cheeky Middle Child on the right-hand side, oozing personality, I think, in her expression. She's definitely a bit more mischievous but confident. And so, yeah, the more you see it, the more I can sort of read into that. And both says a lot about the individual personalities and the relationship they have together. So, yeah, I'm definitely considering my score.
Excellent. Anyone else wish to comment before I go back to Rachel? Okay. Thank you, Rachel. Wind it up, bring it home.
A little bit of a tough crowd over here, but look, I am drawn to the elegance, the connection, the quietness. I'm feeling really nice when I look at this photo. It makes me feel peaceful and calm, and a real sense of sisterly feminine connection. And it's been handled beautifully, printed gorgeously. The lighting's stunning. The colour palette is to die for. You've heard what I've said. I'm silver distinction all the way, so thank you. Well done, photographer.
Well said. Okay, judges, please rescore, apart from Rachel, who will hold her 88. And the buttons are being pressed with vigour, and the score has come in at 85, silver distinction. Well done. Thank you, judges. Good job. Next print, please.
Caption: at the inaugural deer run in Perth on 24th November 2019, three close friends race each other in a sprint finish. Despite no prize money, participants relished in running for 5 breweries and drinking 1 beer in each of them, all while dressed in costume.
Thank you, judges. And this print scores 75. Strong professional practice. Volunteer comments looking for, otherwise I pick on people. Come on, Rebecca.
I think it's a really lovely moment with the little boy. I just feel the lighting lets it down a little bit. So having a bit sort of cleaner lighting, and I'm quite distracted by the curtains on the left and the little girl. I don't think they add to the story, but it is a really nice moment. Maybe cropping could help a little bit.
Thank you. Very constructive comments. Well done. Thank you, folks. And next print, please. We are currently in the family open category, and later on in the category we'll be transforming into the family single capture. But currently we're judging family open.
This is the documentary category sponsored by AIPP. The 2019 Epson WA AIPP Professional Photographer of the Year Award. Being held on the wonderful grounds of the North Metropolitan Club.
Thank you, judges. Careful consideration is being applied in a timely manner. Scores are coming in. This print scores 82, silver award. And Erica, you liked it. Oh, no, you've just popped a lolly. That's just it. Thank you, Rachel. Nice ploy.
If the photographer's around or listening, thank you for presenting a really interesting perspective. What I enjoyed was that the mother side of this woman isn't a complete wreck and frazzled. Often you get the extreme versions, and I think that this is a really beautiful way of saying, I used to be this and now I'm this and I'm still okay and I've still got my identity, which is a really beautiful perspective of motherhood. And I really appreciated that and I thought it was very well handled, so thank you.
Really nice interpretation. Thank you. Yeah, well done. Congratulations to the photographer. Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you, everybody. Scores are in. This print scores 80. Silver award. Oh, Dean, are you up for a comment for me, mate? Thank you, mate.
This was a bit tricky. I really put it in the silver because we get a bit of an insight into this character. This can be a tricky age of person to photograph because they probably don't want to be there. He's a bit too cool for school. We can see that in his expression, the little detail around his neck. But he's trapped in this in-between tweeny kind of stage. He's still clinging on to his little puppy dog toy. So he's sort of, that's the story I'm getting. I love that he's shaved his eyebrow, but Mum still made him go along for the photo shoot anyway. So little things like that and his sort of expression is why I really loved it. But I'm not sure what's so blurry at the bottom. That was the thing I really struggled with to still put it in the silver range. I chose to think that that was intentional because it's a part of his life that he's leaving behind. That's why I was happy to keep it in the silver.
Cool. Great commentary. Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you, judges. Diversity. Print scores 83, silver award. And I'm going to go with Gary. We haven't heard from you for a while. You really liked this. I'm sorry, you can't challenge, but you can certainly comment.
Yeah, quick comment. Technically great. It's a little cramped. Would have been nice to see a little bit more space around it. But what really got my rocks off on this was the husband reaching for the keys because he's out of there.
Good story. Well portrayed. Congratulations. And we're going to move on to the next print, please. Print scores 77, which is strongly in the professional range. So well done to the photographer. Let's go with Erica. Your turn, because no lollies. Good. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rachel. I missed your. Yep. Please. Yeah.
Fun image. I think to push it further with triptychs, I think there has to be a really strong reason to present 3 images, and I'm drawn to the middle image because I go straight to the middle, and the boys and the dad's eyes are a bit cross-eyed. They're not quite open properly, so it feels a little bit disjointed and doesn't seem like a good enough reason to have 3 of them there. So with triptychs, I think you have to have a really strong storytelling approach. So just something to consider.
Thank you, Rachel. Let's go next print, please. Right, judges are finalising their thoughts, committing them to a score. This print comes in at 75, a strong professional practice. And Erica, your turn.
This is such a beautiful little moment between mother and baby. For me, the extra effects, the border that's been added around it, just really doesn't add anything to it. If anything, I would have cropped it much tighter to give it more impact.
Cool. Thank you. Right. We're going to go next print, please. And so, folks, just as we're continuing, but just to let you know, we are now flowing straight into the family single capture stage of this category. So for you to bear in mind that there's no significant manipulation. Okay, can you? And we have a silver award at 80. Congratulations to the photographer. And let's go with Rachel. Thank you. Rachel's going to provide some very constructive feedback.
Yeah, lovely work. Like you would, well, if the photographer's in the room, you would have seen the judges sort of stand there for quite a while, just sort of looking at this and feeling it all. And it's a stunning image. And I think if it was going to go higher, I think it needs to be so balanced because it is a simple image, but there is a lot of complicating features. You know, fingers are tricky, but I think if you maybe even crop the right wrist just a little bit to match the left-hand side. It could make it a bit stronger. Also, on the left-hand wrist, there's a tiny bit of blurring. There's a gorgeous grain running through it, so maybe even enhance that a bit more just to kind of bring that softness through even stronger. Could make it a bit higher as well.
Lovely feedback, thank you. And it has a silver award, so the photographer should be very happy about that. Right, next print, please. Next print, thank you. And welcome back to our live stream audience. Apologies, I understand that we dropped out there for a while. So we hope you caught our last image there that scored an 80, which was a silver award. We're currently judging the family single capture part of the category, which is proudly sponsored by C.R. Kennedy. And they are the people that supply our local suppliers with a range of Ilford papers and the amazing Phase 1 system. So we are, as always, very appreciative of getting support from C.R. Kennedy, who also look after our local sponsors in Team Digital and Camera Electronic. Scores are coming in. Thank you, Lisa. And this print is a score at 81, silver award. Lisa, yeah, have a say.
This is a lovely portrait between a mother and a daughter. I love the squished noses. There wasn't too much I could find to bring it up. Perhaps a little bit more light on the little girl's face. I probably would have liked more emphasis on her face than mum's face, or even emphasis. Other than that, it's just beautiful. Well done.
Thank you. And well done too. Next print, please. Thank you, judges. Let's get those digits working. Plug in those scores. Ooh, this print scores 81, silver award. Rachel, thank you. I'm getting better at looking.
What an intriguing image. It's almost uncomfortable to look at. It's very confrontational, but the more you lean into it, it's got this stunning shape. It's almost womb-like, and it's beautiful for a masculine image. And so I think it's a stunning piece of work, and I think to push it further, I think just watch the lighting and the little boy and maybe just bring out a little bit more handling in your tonal range. But be very subtle with it. Even maybe just think about adding some grain. But I think just keep working on that really powerful, uncomfortable emotion that's part of this image, and you could have something. It could go further, I'm not sure, but as it is, it's a great piece of work. Thank you. Yeah.
lovely and constructive. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, next print, please. Right, here we go. We're waiting for the final scores to come in. This print scores 78 in a strong professional range. Well done. Eric, would you like to offer some constructive comments?
I'm loving her gorgeous yellow dress and the colours of this image. Just a little bit more space at the bottom, I think, would have improved it a little, and her expression isn't quite there. It's not. She doesn't look overly excited to be pregnant.
Might not be the case for her. She might be well thinking, damn. But it is a beautiful, graceful image, so congratulations. Well done to the photographer. Thank you. Next print, please. Next print. Thank you. Right, here we go. This print scores 77. And Dean, before you go, can I get a comment, mate?
Super cute, again. I said that before, didn't I? Really, really engaging expression and beautiful. I think for me, there's just nothing here to push it into the award range. So professional practice, if you're selling this sort of work to your clients every day, awesome. Hope you're making lots of money because it's beautiful. You've really captured personality really well. I suppose on a technical level, this big yellow dot in the right-hand side is drawing our eye for no particular reason. So potentially if that was cropped out or photoshopped out, can you do that in this single capture? Maybe, yes, no. No. Crop it, yes. So maybe those sort of things. But yeah, excellent work. Definitely really high up there and pushing itself into award level.
Excellent. Thank you, Dean. Well done. Congratulations. You can have a wee little break. And could I invite Diane in, please? So Diane DeRay is kindly joining us. Thank you, Diane. Settle in there. Just pop your tray table up. Make yourself comfortable. And if we can have the next print, please. Thank you, judges. Right. This sprint is scoring. Ooh, there's a quiver of anticipation amongst us. 85 silver distinction. Lisa, you like this image, yes?
This is a really beautiful image. Well done to the photographer. The expressions, the engagement, the posing in these women is just gorgeous. The message is very clear. Breast cancer's affected them all. It's the only thing that held me back from even moving this up into a gold was the processing. It just feels like you've overdone the softening. The lady to the left, her face is very white in contrast to her body, and it just feels almost posturized, almost, not quite. So if you're going to enter this into APA, and I would encourage you to, go back, see if you can dial back that processing and just have a look at what's going on with the differences. If she is paler, you're generally paler, you know, at least around the chest area as well. Yeah, I think you do very, very well. It's an excellent image. Well done.
Very eloquent. Thank you, Lisa. Great. Let's go. Next print, please. So if you're listening to us in live streaming and you're sitting in front of the computer doing all your work, give yourself a break. Come on down and have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee at the judging. Come and marvel at the images. We're seeing some sensational stuff already, and a lot of the the silvers and silver distinctions are on display here. So yeah, be kind to yourself and come and indulge in photography. Come down and say hello. Judges' scores are coming in. This print scores 78 and a strong professional practice. And I'm inviting voluntary comments. Otherwise, I thank you, Erica.
The expression on this little girl, I absolutely love her beautiful little face. I'm just so distracted by all of those highlights at the top. If it could be cropped a little tighter, just to really put the emphasis on that beautiful little face, it would improve it.
Okay. So we're going to do a judge change and we'll send them outside. Thank you, folks. Rachel, you've been judging so well and for so long, we're going to give you a break. But I really appreciate what you've been doing. Thank you. And Dean, because you're an interstate judge, we work you to the bone. So, you know, no rest for you lot. Right. Thank you. Let's go next print, please. This print scores 75, and I would invite a comment from Dean. Thank you kindly, mate.
I really enjoyed the relationship between these two and the chaos of it and the chaos of the angles and the lines and everything. And a great moment, but the way that the intersection of through the dude's face at the top is really a rule that broken in this instance is really working against the image. Yeah, there's some funny perspective things going on and some technical bright patches that could be toned down a little bit as well. But yeah, great moment captured, so well done.
Great. Thank you, Dean. Next print, please. Right, here we go. Tick tock, tick tock. The score is 78. Strong professional practice, well polished, well presented. Let's go with Erica. Thank you.
I don't have a huge amount of experience with kids, but I imagine they do whinge and cry quite a bit. And I almost feel like to push it into the next level, it needs a bit of snot or dribble or just something else, a little extra element.
Who said you don't know kids? So well done. Okay, we hope this is actually interpreted constructively for our photographers. That's a quality image. Thank you. Next print, please. Right, this print scores 79. And I'm going to... Rebecca, you liked the image and...
Yeah,
but not
I think this is a wonderful client piece. Like your client's going to love this. It's going to hang really big in their house. It's a lovely portrait of this little boy. I just need something, an extra element, I think, for me to take it into the next level.
Thank you. Next print, please. This is a oh so close 79. But Lisa, you did like this. Can the photographer do things to lift?
I think they can. I love the perspective and the story behind this image. The lighting is holding me back, and perhaps even the house on the left. I wonder if we crop the left off just a little bit. This mum looking back at the girl who's either going to walk down the aisle or smile for the photo, love, and she's like, "Are you kidding me, mate? You put me in this dress. I don't want to be here." If we could perhaps brighten up her face, make a little bit more of that. I don't know if exploring black and white perhaps might take away the distracting background, but there is something really unique and touching in this story, and it could do something. Well done.
Thank you. Good encouragement. Next print, please. So we are well into the throes of judging family category. In particular, these are single capture images. And again, I'd like to pay tribute to our sponsor, C.R. Kennedy, who are great supporters for the industry, for us as photographers, and also for our suppliers, particularly our two on-venue suppliers, Camera Electronic and Team Digital. And they're here, very happy to chat to anybody that's here in the room. And also if anybody wants to pop by and visit us during the day sometime. Thank you, folks. This print scores 76. Strong professional practice. And so, Dean, yeah, you were thinking it was nearly there.
Was always going to fall short of an award, but I just really want to encourage you. This is like the aesthetic here is really good. There's just a couple of little things. I think the focus point's right on her elbow, and our eyes drawn to the brightest part, which is her tummy in maternity. Obviously, that's what we want to be looking at and what you want us to look at. But being sharper on the elbow means it falls back into a little bit out of focus on her tummy and her face. So they're probably on the same focal plane. So getting it sharp there would have been better. She fades away to black on the right-hand side, which isn't the end of the world, but maybe cropping that in a little bit so there isn't so much space behind her. I am a fan of being able to see that sort of curve, so maybe I feel like would have been beneficial. And again, we've intersected the crop right through the eye. Just dropping that down a couple of mil is going to bring no eye into it, which is better than right through the middle of an eye, in my view. So this sort of work, keep going with it. It's beautiful. You're nearly there.
Thank you, Matt. Great feedback. Thank you. Next print, please. Thank you, everyone. Sorry, I had to respond to my boss. Print scores 79. So again, it's almost there. Lisa, is there? Sorry, I'm picking because you were looking at the print and everybody else had their eyes cast down.
No, I mean, this is a wonderful shot. Mum and Dad would love this. It's a genuine smile. He's got his eyes squeezed shut so tight it's not funny. Just the lighting probably needs a little bit more finessing. His hand is very, very bright. You could probably tone that down a little bit in post. And while it's harsh lighting on his face itself, it still just feels a little bit grey. So maybe see if you can do something to give it just a little bit more pop and
Cool.
Beautiful.
Great comments. Thank you. Next print, please. This print scores 79. And I'm looking for comments, please. Lisa, you're on fire. Thank you.
I love this. I love the simplicity of the baby portraits like this, and this one is beautiful. For me, in printing, he's come up just a tad too orange. Something with his skin tones is just a little bit off, and his eyes are just a fraction over sharpened. So I've already scored that in the silver. If we'd dealt with that, I probably would have gone right to quite a solid silver. But it's a beautiful shot. Mum and Dad would just love this. That hair, those cheeks, what's not to love?
Yeah, lovely. Thank you, Lisa. Next print, please. Very impressed with your commitment and dedication. And it might be time to consider your scores. Sprint scores a silver award at 84. Thank you, Dane. Fire away.
I really like this so much, and I really wanted to score it higher, but technically it's just not there. But oh my gosh, the story is so good. She looks not that thrilled with being a mum. She's lost her identity a bit. She's got a sexy tattoo on her arm, and now she's a mum. There's so much good stuff going on here, but there's so much bad stuff going on as well. So, I mean, I'm not trying to talk it down, but it's... I think the lighting and the printing could have been handled a little bit better, but oh my gosh, keep going with this. I love it so much. So much I could say. I could talk about this photo all day.
Okay. Thank you, Tam. Right, can I have a blank screen, please? Because that is the end of our family category. Well done, judges. Congratulations. Seen some amazing images already. We're going to have a 10-minute break. So rush off to the loo. Make sure you wash your hands. And we'll see everyone back in here. Please check the judging roster. Make sure that you may be required quite soon. But we'll need our judges for the next category.